All right, we're going to try to get through this meeting as quickly as we can. If some more people show up while we're going, that's fine. They can just play catch up. This is the September 22 monthly meeting of Guilds of Requiem, our affiliated guilds, Gilded Project, and the Requiem International Project chapters, which I just about abbreviated as RIP chapters and was just going to leave it at that. And I decided, I probably better spell it out until people are more used to it.
Yeah.
Agenda, come on click. Come on click. The agenda tonight is going to be sweet, short, and to the point. We're going to go through Guilds of Requiem, what's happening, updates and reminders. And that includes any guilds and project reporting, Space Station, which includes Space Station Requiem and Steampunk unit. Then we're going to get into Requiem's Events of Texas with our monthly markets and BantuckyCon. And you're going to hear all the dogs roughhousing in the background because they're all wound up and didn't want to stay outside. Don't blame them. So our guilds reporting in is our Agrarian Guild, Crafters and Artists Guild, Guardians Guild, Merchants Guild, Resources Guild, Scholars Guild, Technicians Guild, and Requiem International Programs. Pretty much the only thing that anybody has to report is Merchants Guild has got a paid ad going until the Wednesday before BantuckyCon, looking for vendors to sign up. Resources Guild, we started plowing through the, not really plowing, more like trotting and crawling and scraping our way along on trying to follow our first 990 as a nonprofit. Oi! Now everybody knows how to get my dogs to shut up. Scholars Guild has been working on, I don't know that, yeah, I've been working on just the Steampunk BantuckyCon. I've been focusing on getting the Guardians Guild website done this month. I'm going to focus on one website at a time. So once the Guardians Guild website is completed, you'll see me pushing that a lot out in October. And I think somewhere I had it listed in the order in which I was going to finish completing the guilds. And a lot of that has to do with, I have no freaking clue on what to put on crafters, merchants, and resources. And technicians is pretty bare. That might actually be the one closest to being done. But, you know, like I said, technicians is only. Our gilded projects that we have up and running are the Homesteaders and Preppers Guild, known as Requiem Home, Hearth, and Heart on Facebook. We have the Requiem Ranch CSA, which is a community shared agriculture program. When we were vending this last weekend at Pomarosa, we had some locals who are looking at becoming more self-sufficient, self-reliant through the Preppers Guild that live in apartments in Bandera and Helotes. There's he said there's about 30 of them, and they're all a part of a clan from Sherwood. Oh, nice. So they are looking to get involved, and they have some able-bodied people. So we gotta be able to get some stuff built to increase production to handle everything and get the aquaponics going. Master Procrastinators is one of our longest running projects that, you know, well, we procrastinate about being masters of our craft. We have the Bards Guild, which is basically our performing artists and cosplayer guild. This is anybody who sings, dances, does cosplay, you know, that's looking to make a business out of it, a business adventure out of it at minimum, or just to find out more information, you know, should they decide to go from hobbyist to professional. I do plan on trying to start scheduling in some marketing advice and business management advice. It's pretty hard to incorporate just yourself as a nonprofit for those who are wanting to dress up and just go to, you know, do charity work. So there's that in there that they'll want to network with a nonprofit that's already doing that versus trying to go off on their own. Our Gamers Guild, we have a submission already for Ren Fair, Bandera County to have gaming. Still hoping we can talk somebody into doing some gaming at Bentuckcon, but I believe not having event canopies is really hurting us on that end. Haven of Requiem projects, these are all in the Guardians Guild, and we have broken it down into 3 categories: the Guardians, the Healers, and the Warriors. Our Guardians are anybody who is a first responder. So that's going to be your police, your firefighters, your county sheriff, your deputies, anybody who's like a Texas peace officer is going to be in there. The EMS paramedics kind of get to pick and choose whether they want to be in the Guardians as first responders or if they want to be in the Healers, because they have to have a medical licensing to perform their job. So the Healers focuses on any person or business or organization that has to be licensed to perform medical stuff, to do their job. And our Warriors are a tribute to our veterans and those who are still active duty, in that a lot of us have put our time in for our country. And, yeah, we're pretty tough for still continuing on when we're dealing with a lot of stuff from having been in the military. The one that a lot of people saw a lot of information is happening about, because it is National Service Dog Month, is the transition of the Service Dog Handlers Guild to being the Service and Working Dog Handlers Guild, because we now have therapy dogs and some government-owned canine units that are a part of the guild. So we're looking forward to that growing. And we also have a Train the Trainer program and externship that once we get the video up on the YouTube channel, we will link it into this video for, referencing the other one. In the Merchants Guild, we do have the Vendors Guild of Requiem. Vendors, this is the month in which everything renews. So that means we need an updated annual contract. If you were currently a vendor for Guilds of Requiem prior to our change to a nonprofit, and where we have to be self-sufficient, the membership fee is only $25. The exception to that is if you are requiring a lot of help to get your products onto the website, that is going to be $50 a year. That is still, it's a sizable discount compared to what the rate is for those who are not members of Vendors Guild. The other benefit of the Vendors Guild is that a 10x10 space, a single 10x10 space is provided at all events that we host. So that's going to be our Ren Fair and our Bentuckcon. The monthly markets at Palmarosa, we are co-hosting. So we do not have the option of giving a discount, because $30 is what she charges per space. When we are hosting there, we can, we charge $50 as a donation for that space. The lowest we can go is $25, $30, because that is what we are paying per space. Out of the resources department, we have Space Station Requiem. That one's been kind of quiet. Been trying to keep the group occupied with some memes and try to get some discussions, meme wars, discussion starters, and everything else. I do believe what is affecting a lot of our groups is the fact that I am in Facebook jail for 30 days, in where they are going to throttle back the visibility. Get down, ma'am. Get down. No. They're throttling back the visibility of my groups and pages, because I posted a meme that it is hard to sound threatening when you use all capitals and Comic Sans. Hi! Sorry, I didn't mean to deafen everybody, but the puppies are fighting. And it basically said, it's hard to, you basically end up being the cat from The Emperor's New Groove, like, it's hard to take somebody serious when making a threat using Comic Sans. And Facebook determined that I violated their community standards with that post, and put me in timeout for 24 hours, and then throttled everything back for another 30 for the remainder of the 30 days. So, yeah. That is affecting everything. The Learning Pavilion of Requiem is out of the Scholars Guild, and a lot of that has to do with the educational programs. We have in the works for members and for the community. I do have my eye on getting at least one of us certified to teach first aid and CPR training, because they will not come out and do it for us. They won't come to any of our events to do that. So we are just going to have to say, well, the answer is no, therefore we're going to do it anyways and figure out how to make it happen. Also under the Learning Pavilion of Requiem is Space Station Requiem Academy, which is basically our fun and fandom Quizlets over different genres. And it also will include our officer training corps for those who want to have a leadership position within Space Station Requiem without joining Starfleet Command. And then we have our Steampunk unit, which a lot of people should be tired of hearing about with Con coming up in October. But they are our science, technology, engineering, arts, and math youth program. Finally, we have the Vendors Apprentice Guild. This is anybody who is making the transition from being just a hobbyist to having their own business. We will cover these vendors at our events only under our Texas state sales tax licensing while they are learning how to run a business. This one's really fun. I like this. I like this transition. And we're going to start off with Requiem events. I do need to update the logo because we weren't aware that there was a company already out there called Requiem Events when I made this. So we are officially Requiem's Events of Texas. I know, another mouthful because somebody jumped the gun and got Requiem Events before us. What do we have going on? We have monthly vending, being at the Bandera Brewery on the second Saturday of every month from September until May. The fun part about Bandera Brewery, it is free to vend. It is on a blacktop parking lot, so sometimes it can get a little bit warm. It is right by the highway, so it also gets a little bit windy. So you need to keep that in mind, that you need to have weights for your canopies before you come out there. And then I'll, when we post this onto Facebook or into our YouTube, we'll remember to give the link to email Liz at Bandera Brewery. Then we have market days at Pomarosa, and that is the third Saturday from September until May. It starts at $30 and up for vending fees. And yes, these are actually fees. They are not donations or fundraisers to Guilds of Requiem. I think they waited for the meeting to start, being really loud on rough housing. So I apologize for that. We have 5 puppies. And Wicket and Cletus aren't happy with them because they steal everything. The fun thing about that is every month has a different theme to encourage vendor and guest engagement. You probably saw the post in October is the Boozar, where we're encouraging vendors and nonprofits to come and fundraise with activities that are in with the season. And first and fourth weekends are reserved for product production, meetings, and marketing discussions. We do make the meetings for Guilds of Requiem itself a publicly accessible item. We will probably continue on with having at 1 o'clock on the 4th Sunday as being an informational only session for the service and working dogs. And I will poll that group to see what topics they want to go through each month. I am hoping that I will be able to survive to 5 o'clock on third Saturdays to have the meeting then. Otherwise, we may have to look at having the in-person meeting earlier in the day before I poop myself out from doing too much. Our annual events are, which of course is our Con. Applications are open until October 20th. Advertisement of anyone's presence does not begin until vending fees or donations have been paid for the space. An agreement of services provided is submitted. That is especially important for any entertainers, that they understand that we are unable to pay entertainers at this time. However, this is what we have to offer them. And that essentially includes they need to tell me how much they would normally charge to be somewhere. for a day, entertaining for the day, and then we pair them up with whatever level sponsorship that includes, and we follow through. That means I need to know when their other events are coming up for the next year, because we will promote them out. They do get vending spaces at cost for us at our events. Our next run of flyers goes out October 4th. So that means our cutoff is October 1st. So how do you ensure that your business or organization is included on it? See above. Vending fees need to be paid. If you're sponsoring the event, we need to have the money in hand. Or if you're an entertainer, agreement of services to be provided. The cutoff date is October 1st to be included on the next round of flyers. I do have a company called Next Day Flyers that if I get everything submitted to them before midnight on October the 1st, they will have flyers to me by the end of the business day on the 4th. And it is, I believe, 5,000 flyers. And it was going to be about $200 because they're two-sided on green paper and they're cutting them in half for us. So they're actually printing 2,500, cut it in half, that becomes 5,000 flyers. Unfortunately, right now, that is all I have available in our budget, because I do also need to pay for the goodie bags that are part of the scavenger hunt. As long as I have my order into them before October the 5th, the goodie bags, which are printed on biodegradable plastic and with eco-sourced inks, will be here by the 20th of October. Yes, that is cutting it a little bit close, but unless we have a sponsor come in, our finances are very limited to be sinking into the events, knowing that, you know, the only return that we get is that we get to see smiling, happy people. How to contact us about either events. The Requiem Events of Texas at guildsofrequiem.com does work. You can also do Requiem's Events of Texas at gmail.com, or you can use the good old customer service at guildsofrequiem.com to contact us. And on to the main event is BantuckyCon, October 22nd. Our theme is Cowboys and Aliens. It is from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. The best way to get information on that is to go to guildsofrequiem.com, click on annual events, and click on BantuckyCon. It will open up a new window to our subsite. So yes, I did have fun with changing the background a little bit to be in theme. We're going to quickly cover what vending options we have, how to be included on any activities, more information about the Steampunk Scavenger Hunt and how people can help, donations and sponsorships, and most importantly, volunteering. We are a nonprofit organization and none of our members are paid to do the jobs that they do. We run on volunteers, caffeine, and cursing. But it is a lot of fun and it's worthwhile for what we do. So we're going to start out with our vending options. Spaces are 12 by 12 to allow for social distancing. This means that you can have a 10 by 10 canopy and have your stuff sitting slightly outside of it to not go past the 12-foot mark. $50 is the set price for vendors. The reason this is we've got to meet expenses of not only for this event, but for future events, which we're allowed to do. Food vendors. I noticed that there may have been a very important reason why we were not getting any food truck vendors to sign up, because somebody failed to list our fees for food vendors. That has been rectified on the vendor sign up form, and tomorrow I will go in and I will update it on the event website and the application page for vendors. But the prices are, if you are a pop-up with no electrical needs, that means you're probably selling it under the cottage food lots. Or maybe you got your own battery power pack that you can, propane heater or whatever to cook or keep food cold. It is $50. It is for a 12 by 12 space. We are going to do things slightly different at this event in that all food vendors will be up at the top of the hill where the food trucks were last time. So anybody who is selling food, regardless if it's under cottage food laws or if they have a health permit and require electricity, everybody's going to be up there. I'm trying to get together with somebody who has a virtual reality game console that maybe we can set them up also in the food court. So people have to go through the food court to get to that activity. There's also a group called Jelly Balls, and they basically use the Orbeez in a paintball fashion and do capture the flag and fundraising at fundraiser stuff at events. I am waiting to hear back from their corporate office to connect me with somebody local who has availability on the 22nd. So hopefully we might be able to have a Cowboys versus Aliens Orbeez fight. They also said that they have little water pellets too. So that's like mini water balloons. And I'm like, some people pay a lot for their costumes. I'm not quite sure I want paintballs, which sting really, really badly and stain, or water maybe on somebody who's got a dry clean only thing. I just, as somebody who cosplays and creates her own costumes, that just doesn't seem like a very good idea. So I am trying to get some activities up at back behind there. We'll possibly put, when we get the steampunk going and we know what activities, what our build challenge, design and build challenges, we may put a couple of those up there because there's more room. Right now, I'm kind of leaning towards water bottle rockets. So that also gives them a nice flat area in which to launch them with a reduced chance of actually hitting somebody as the water bottle rocket comes down. If you are a pop-up with electrical needs, it is $75. We do have to pay for the space and the electricity being used. If you are a self-contained food truck, that means you have your own generator to provide your own power. It will be $75. It is one RV site, which is approximately a 12 by 20 space. If you're a food truck that needs electricity, it's going to be $100 because once again, we need to pay for the space and we need to pay for the electricity. And the cleanup, and yeah. Activity inclusion. So how can you be included in activities happening at VentuckyCon? We do need 4 to 6 vendors who are willing to volunteer to have our little booklet of trivia questions. Each vendor will be provided with 2 or 3 topic options, and there will be 3 trivia questions that they have to answer based on their age group in that category. If they get the question correct on the first try with no hints, they get 3 points. If the vendor has to provide a hint and then they get it, it's only 2 points. If they have to provide another hint, it's only 1 point. If they still can't get it from there, the vendor's going to tell them the answer and they're going to give them the clue on where to find the next STEAM challenge activity to go to. We will supply the topics and the questions based on age group. And I think I've got a graphic coming up here shortly that shows what our age groups are. We do need 5 volunteers to do our STEAM challenges. So that's science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And the more I think about it, the more I think a design and build of a water bottle rocket would probably be fun, or a trebuchet out of popsicle sticks. That might also be fun. We also do need additional volunteers for typical convention panels. If there's something that whenever you go to a convention that you are always hosting a panel, like Jan and Jason with the Moss and Moon, they talk about how to do Star Trek cosplay, Star Trek uniforming. Those are the types of things that we are looking for to happen here. I need to get with Miss Beebe to see if we will have access to the clubhouse for these panels to occur. I am waiting to hear back from somebody who is going to bring a Star Trek related production game activity type thing. I worried about putting them up in the clubhouse if we don't have anything else happening there. I don't want them to feel like they wasted their time because nobody came to see them. So we were looking at putting them down in the carport over by the belly dancers, or possibly over in RV Site A. We still do not know if we have MUFON San Antonio. I think at this point, when we see the whites of their eyes, then we know we got them. And here's the lovely graphic for our Steampunk scavenger hunt. The official starting time is 11 a.m. and the official ending time is 4 p.m. Does this mean that you need to be there the entire time? No. It means that you cannot start the Steampunk scavenger hunt before 11 a.m. And you have to have your scorecards turned in before 4 p.m. because we'll be doing the awards ceremony at 4:30 p.m. So our age categories are 12 and under, 13 to 17, 18 plus, and all ages. I suspect those will be like our families or our homeschoolers. It will be $10 per team. That is to help offset the cost of having prizes and supplies for the Steampunk Build and Design Challenge. Every team must have one adult. They can have between 2 and 4 members on the team plus one adult for a total of 5. If it's an 18 and plus, then they can have 5 people on their team. But every team must have one adult. That goes along with no unattended minors at our event. If they are not old enough to drive there themselves, then they need to have a parent or guardian with them at our events. That's just, it's a major safety issue. We had some kids that were left at Ren Fair without transportation or the means to contact mom and dad to come get them when they found out that the games they were going to play weren't happening on Sunday. So I did get a nice earful from a parent, and then I reminded them that if your kids are under 15, you needed to be there in the first place. And well, that ended the phone call. Steampunk scavenger hunt is going to have a go no go date of October 1st, because main reason that is because I want it to be on the flyer. And can you put them up, please? If we don't have enough people to make the activity a go, I'm not going to waste our funds on getting goodie bags. Now, if a business still wants to come through with goodie bags, that's fine. I'm not going to argue. I'll get them the information of who we were going to go with. But if, by the end of, midnight, October 1st, I need to know if we've got vendors to do the trivia questions and if we've got people to run the activities. Pre-registration and prepaying will start October 1st. Probably I need to move that to October 2nd. As soon as we announce the go, no go, if it's a go, we're going to put the registration form out there. We are encouraging teams to pre-register and prepay through our PayPal account and our Google Forms. They can also pay at the event with a credit or debit card. I will not have cash at the check-in booth, period. So if they come up to me with a $50 bill expecting $40 and change, it's not going to happen. They come up to me with $10 worth of pennies. It's not going to happen. I am not going to have cash at the check-in booth because there might not always be somebody who is an adult there at the station. I might have to go problem solve or put out a minor fire or, attend to a situation that my tablet will come with me. And I'm not leaving, just to have a money box would be one more thing that I would have to carry to go deal with stuff. And I don't want to do that. It's just not safe. The start and ends are at the check-in canopy. At the check-in canopy, we'll give you your scorecard. We write your start time on it. When you bring the scorecard back to us with all trivia questions answered and all STEAM challenges completed, then we will write a time on there. We will be giving points for those who complete all of the entire scavenger hunt in the shortest amount of time. We do need prize donations, and that is for first, second, and third place. It'd be fantastic if we could get one that's also for the best all around, and it is to cover the 4 age categories. So that is a total of 12 prizes. If all we end up is, 4 prizes for the first place category, that's fine. I totally get it. I understand this is our first year of having a physical event called Nantucky. Donations and sponsorships. We are a nonprofit. We do run on donations, sponsorships, and volunteers. To be included on the printed material, donations and sponsorships need to be submitted no later than October the 1st. Sponsorships start at $50 and go up. You do have a 10 by 10 space at the event to self-promote, and that will be the area behind, when you walk in the gate, right-hand side, that long stretch of grass right there where we're going to have Aid Station and Mother's Den. That's where all of our sponsors are going to set up. Any nonprofit organizations will probably divide between the main activity area and over there. Volunteering, you know, like I said, we run on volunteers, and what we need volunteers for is to help set up on Friday, take down either Saturday evening or Sunday, and then to do cleanup after the event on Sunday or Saturday. We do need volunteers to help host con panels or STEAM activities. Specifically, the STEAM activities, we need to have at least one in each category for the scavenger hunt to work. We need them to be steampunk referees. Basically, they're going to have the guide of who is doing what and where they are. And if they see somebody lost or confused, they can give a clue, but it costs them 1 point. Next time they go talk to another referee, it's going to cost them 2 points. Every time they need to talk to a referee, it's going to cost an additional point. So if they end up talking to referees 5 times, that's 1 + 2 + 3 + 4 + 5 points. At that point, it's safe to say, you know, maybe you should just take your card back to the check-in tent and say, I don't think we can do that this year. But we are trying to make it as easy as we can. With it being our first physical year, the event itself should remain small enough that hopefully the referees just basically, you know, if they come up and say, where's XYZ vendor, they can just point over there, you know, or they can answer a question about something, you know. These are going to basically be our people who are our experts in the scavenger hunt. We also need vendor gophers. Go for this, go for that. We do like having volunteers that can give vendors who are there by themselves a break to go to the restroom and get something to eat and return back to their tent. They will not make sales while you are gone. Take your money box with you. They are not responsible for your money box. They are only there to make sure your merchandise does not get stolen. And anybody who volunteers a minimum of 4 hours will get a $20 food voucher booklet, and we will have a listing of which food vendors are redeeming them. Any questions? Did I go through things really, really fast? Because, you know, it's the end of the weekend. If there are no questions, we are going to share this onto our YouTube channel, and it'll also go onto our Facebook pages. Please ask any questions you might have in the comments, and we will try to continue to watch for them to ensure that everybody questions do get answered. Thank you. We look forward to seeing you at October Bazaar, the 3rd Saturday, or up at the Bandera Brewery the 2nd Saturday. And we really hope to see everybody at BantuckyCon on October 22nd.